I've been constantly getting rejected. Sometimes to the fact that I reach and I clear the first, second, third or fourth stage, and but the end, the final interview, I'm not able to make it, and I've not been able to make it consistently. And there are some who just don't make it to the second stage, and they're obviously getting frustrated. And then they come up to me and ask, what could be the reason? If you're someone who's been constantly getting rejected, or is planning to go ahead and give an interview and do not want to get rejected on some silly mistakes that we do, then you must watch this video. Let's begin. Hi everyone, my name is Twinkle and welcome back to a brand new video on my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 secrets, 7 tips of how to appear confident and how to not look arrogant or come across as cocky or someone who is not very interested, should not look unattractive. Yes, we do that, but the problem is we do that unknowingly, knowingly or unknowingly. I'm here to break down those 7 factors to you and share with you what you should do instead. So if you're interested, go ahead and watch the video until the end. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. If you found them helpful, motivating or worth watching, don't forget to hit the like button and also share it with someone who needs to see this. Let's now quickly start the video. So number 1 and the most important tip that I want to give you here is, people often tend to forget that you're in an interview, but it's also more like a conversation, and it's a two-way conversation where you both, the recruiter as well as the candidate, both have to participate equally. It's a two-way communication conversation process where when the recruiter is talking to you, you must not just sit there like a zombie or a robot in your mind where you're preparing for the next answer or stressing or just do not have an expression, but you are also supposed to show that you're listening, that you're interested by your positive body language, or ask questions and behave like you're in a conversation, not or like a meeting. You're not have to think, do not visualize that you're there to just answer their questions in your mind. You're waiting for the next question and then you go ahead, you keep on talking. There is a monologue that you prepare, and that's the only focus at this point in time, that you have to deliver and you have to wait for the next one. No, it is not only going to make you very disinterested but also robotic. So what I will suggest you is always consider it as a meeting. It helps you come across as interested, natural, also helps to calm your nerves down, because in your mind you wouldn't be thinking that a lot of it is at stake. Ask questions, show that you're listening, have a positive expression, have a smile, nod wherever possible, and ask questions, and do not go ahead and interrupt them ever. Tip number 2 is, do not brag. Yes, do not go ahead and show off. I know you don't intend to do that, but unknowingly or knowingly, sometimes when we start talking, we tend to forget that we need to gauge if the interviewer is still interested in your conversation because of the length or how unclear you're sounding. And what do is we keep on talking about ourselves, which is not wrong, but only stating the facts and not backing it up by enough examples, achievement examples, and merely giving empty statements is only going to make you come across as someone who brags a lot, who thinks very highly of themselves, and might come across as overconfident or arrogant, which is a very negative approach for the recruiters. So what should you do instead? Number 1, whenever somebody asks you to explain, to talk about a situation that you've dealt in the past, or why do you think we should hire you, rather than only stating the adjectives or only stating empty claims, go ahead and provide an example of how you have shown that in the past. When you talk about examples and how you've achieved it, it not only gives builds a lot of trust within the recruiters, but also you come across as someone who knows what they're talking about and will be a good fit for this role. Tip number 3 is interruption. Do not go ahead and ever, never, I mean this is a non-negotiable, do not interrupt, whether you have a panel sitting in front of you or whether you have only one recruiter sitting in front of you, even by mistake. And for instance, if you go ahead and you're overexcited and you just interrupt the person, please take a moment to apologize and state it, like acknowledge it, that you have done something that you did not intend to do. Do not interrupt them, because it only tells them two things. Number one, you're more interested in giving out rather than listening, which is a big no in case of a complete process of communication. You have to be more of a listener if you want to be a great communicator. And number two, it shows that you're not patient enough. You have very low patience level, specifically when you're in an interview. So just think about how would you be in a situation which is stressful and has a lot of pressure. Tip number 4. Now this tip number 4 is connected with tip number 3, which is interruption. Now whenever you interrupt someone knowingly or unknowingly, it's considered that you have a low patience or you're just being disrespectful. And also the fourth point that I'm going to highlight here is that you're listening not to literally understand, absorb and basically acknowledge their point of view, but you're listening to reply. You're not listening to respond. There's a difference. When you respond, you absorb, you take in time, you contemplate, you think about the problem, and only then you give a response. But here, you know, when sometimes you're only waiting for the person to finish so that you can give your response or you can give your input, that is something which is a complete big no-no. It not only shows that you're disrespectful, you're arrogant, but also you have zero patience level. This is the kind of people nobody would like to hire. So when somebody is talking, when your recruiter is talking, again, show that you're listening, absorb, literally listen to them, because I'm sure this is going to help you retain their question. And while they're talking, you will be able to set up and organize your thought and structure your response very well also. Tip number 5 to not come across as arrogant or unattractive is calling or pointing towards the fact that you're perfect or you're very friendly and you haven't come across any problems. For examples, while answering questions related to your weakness or the time when you failed, or have you ever received criticism, or whenever you feel angry, like what is the time when you feel angry or upset. Mostly when we ask about conflicts or these tricky questions that are uncomfortable, if a candidate comes across and says that I'm perfect, I don't have any weakness, or I don't think so that I have any and I've worked on it, or I can't think of one, I'm a perfectionist, I do everything to perfection and I don't leave any stone unturned, I don't get upset, I'm very friendly, no, I don't fight at all. All these statements are only going to tell us two things. Number one is that you're hiding something and you're not being honest, because as a human being it is majorly impossible, primarily very, very difficult. And second, you're only showing that you have lack of experience in dealing with such situations, like when you have dealt with a conflict, or if you've seen failure, then how do you overcome that, or how do you deal with that situation. And when somebody asks about your weakness, you only show that when you say that I don't have any, it tells us that you do not know yourself enough and you do not aim at self-improvisation. You do not feel that you need to improve your performance for future growth in the company. So if you're someone who feels that they are perfect or they're going to only say this, otherwise you're going to come across as negative, you're wrong. Instead, go ahead, prepare for your weaknesses, state them, and your focus should be more on how did you work on it, what did you learn from it, and what is your attitude about it in a professional setting. Now that is going to make you come across as attractive and a better employee. Tip number 6, which is also very important but highly neglected, is preparing to ask questions that are relevant, or asking questions at all in general. When the recruiter asks you, do you have any questions or confusions, do you have any concerns at the end of the interview or start or whatever, please consider it as an opportunity to show that you're interested, you care, and you have a passion and motivation to work in this company. You're excited to know more about this role and you're excited to join. So when somebody asks you about any questions you have and you say that no questions, it only shows, number one, that you're not interested, and number two, you are too scared and you only want to finish up and go. You want to leave, you're uncomfortable and you want to finish this up as soon as possible. Instead, prepare questions not just for the sake of it, but prepare relevant questions. Now, the questions could be about the culture of the company, the people you're going to be working with, the role or the skills required for this job, or the next process basically, or any training or further growth opportunities, anything. But make sure that they are matching the situation. You shouldn't be asking questions that are not relevant and personal or does not make any sense. Last tip, tip number 7 is actually one of my favorites, is to have a negative body language. Yes, you all know, and this cannot be explained enough, that non-verbal communication plays a very vital role in an interview. In fact, we would say that it is more important than your verbal communication. And negative body language, if you're saying something positive, would definitely still overpower your words, because again, what you show, if it doesn't match what you say, then you're not really giving a very positive impression to the recruiters. For example, if you want to say that you're feeling very happy or thankful or grateful for the feedback they've provided you, but your body language, like your face, your eyes, or the way you're looking at them, your expression does not mean the same, you are not going to give them the exact same message that you're saying it through your words. Always have a positive expression, or always have supporting gestures or supporting expressions and body language in sync with your words, which not only is going to affirm that you are a great communicator and you mean what you say, but you're also going to come across as someone who could be trusted in future. Negative body language examples could be having a very straight face, always touching your face, touching your hair, or having a very unpleasant expressions, rolling your eyes, like squeezing your forehead or eyes. Some other examples of having a negative body language could be always touching your hair or not sitting straight, looking here and there when somebody is talking to you, making different kind of unpleasant faces, or having a smile which is also qualifying for smirk, where you don't really respect the other person, you don't really agree to what they're saying, and many other examples like so, which are definitely not going to let the recruiter trust you as an employee, no matter how well spoken you are or how well dressed you are. That is all from my end. I hope these 7 tips are going to be helpful for you. You're going to make a note of it and going to make sure that you're not repeating or not having them in any of your interviews, specifically if you want them to get cracked in one go. I hope you found this video very helpful, and if you do, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you have any comments, suggestions or questions, you know the drill, please put it down in the comment section below and I will take it from there. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.